Good evening. Welcome to another celebrated nightly news of Calaveras County. See, yes. We're celebrating ourselves again. Is that the...
And the county.
And the county.
And the county.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks. Welcome back. And my name is John.
I'm Sarah.
And we're going to talk about
Calaveras County.
Yeah.
And news and actually beyond. Beyond as well. Beyond. First thing we'll talk about is Board of Supervisors, which took place today. And like I told you yesterday, it was a very light agenda. One of the biggest things was the Courthouse Construction Fund,
right.
Transferring back to the Administrative Office of the Courts on the state level.
State of California. This is one of those agendas that appeared light, but
actually
had some
talking,
pretty weighty things. For example, on the transfer in the courts, I mean, I guess it's semantics, and I guess it's very, very complicated. For the county council was saying when he visits with other county councils from other counties, is that this is the one thing that is causing more problems and contentions for counties, is this control of the court process and everything else.
And it's been years that this has actually taken place.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess the gist is to think of our courthouse and the courts building and everything else as like a giant condominium, and where the county is required to provide court facilities.
Yes.
But they, in essence, don't have real control over those facilities. I mean, I guess this is the formal process of ceding control to the state. To the state,
exactly. It transfers the responsibility of the court facility to the state.
Even though the county has paid for it, we don't have any rights to it because we were told that we had to pay for it. So
yes, it was an edict. Yeah. It was an edict that came down from the state. You have to build the courts. Right. And at one time it was my understanding that the courts were actually going to transfer to the counties. All of it.
Got it.
But
so
then
went the other way.
There was sort of this back and forth thing. A few years ago, counties were required to actually set up a courthouse construction fund. And that was more because of the aging courthouses in the state.
Right.
And this is not just a Calaveras County problem. This is a statewide problem. And counties were required to put X amount into a courthouse construction fund, and then nobody knew for the last few years quite what was going to happen to those monies. As it turns out, Calaveras County has $1.6 million.
Oh, they do in that fund?
In that fund, and that will actually go back to the state as well.
Okay.
So both the facility and the courthouse construction fund will go back to the state, and then apparently then the state will provide some sort of funding to, I would imagine, build a new courthouse.
Yeah, build a new courthouse. So I think that then they're in line to get the funding in line to do that. And
apparently the governor's May revise actually includes money for that very same project.
Right.
So it all is sort of part and parcel with each other. But
in the long run, the county will be in pretty good shape because of it. And so it's a good thing. But it was very complicated, because I guess what county council was saying as well is that every couple of weeks they'd get a new batch of documents that they would have to go back over and redo and everything else. And it's very... and it takes legalese to another level, I guess. And I guess it's basically to think of it as a condo project, and to where the courts and the county share in the condo usage agreement and that type of stuff. So it's so it passed.
It passed, and so all of that will go back to the state officially.
Yeah.
And then the state will take over actually running the facility, is my understanding. And obviously this goes part and parcel with the possible jail funding that may be coming down the pipeline, that county officials are now looking for a parcel in San Andreas to build a courthouse/jailhouse facility.
Right.
And so all those funds will apparently be pooled together to have this huge new facility. So it's sort of an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And also, Public Works.
Public Works. We had
we actually got money in the county for Public Works. Yes, they actually got a grant of $1.2 million to fix Mountain Ranch Road.
Yes, and this was one of those. This was a nice thing to where. Oh, where's my notes here? Let me dig up my notes.
It was Rob Houghton,
yes,
Director of Public Works, who actually came to the board in public comment to tell them about this process. Apparently, this was a really quick turnaround for a grant.
Yeah, it was. April 1st, they submitted it. And one of the things Rob wanted to stress was he really praised his staff on this one because it was quick turnaround, fast, get it done. And so basically on a grant that was sent in on April 1st, they already have funding, and they're good to go. So this is, 40 days, not
grants
even 40.
Grants are difficult. Yeah. Grants are very difficult to write, and a department cannot really get them without the staff participation.
Yes.
And Brian Moss over there at I think it's Environmental Health, it's / something else. He gets a lot of grants as well, and it's a staff-wide.
It's a full-time job.
Absolutely.
It's just
absolutely.
And the interesting thing is, there's all these little pools of money here that here and there you need to tap into. And I guess the other thing that Rob was saying is, for this particular fund that this grant came out of, I think there was $6 million something statewide, and Calaveras County actually got 20% of this particular, which they were they wrote the grant very well because they actually got 20% of this available pool of funds for this thing. So that's kind of a nice thing.
Definitely. And to future meetings, COG is meeting tomorrow night.
COG is meeting
tomorrow night. And they have quite a few things on their agenda. One of them is the Angels Camp sidewalks. Now, there are portions of Angels Camp...
Where are they going to put them in?
On Highway 49. There are portions of Highway 49 that do not have sidewalks in Angels Camp.
I guess that was a dumb question. You're probably going to put them in the spots.
So put them in where there's where there aren't any sidewalks. Yes, and what they're going to consider is actually a total of $400,000 worth of design, environmental review, and project work. The actual project cost $300,000 estimated for these sidewalks. So they're going to discuss that. And the other thing they're going to discuss is the Shea locomotive. Up there at White Pines Park.
Right.
The Sierra Logging Museum has a Shea locomotive that they are actually restoring and hope to have tracks eventually run through their property and onto U.S. Forest Service property.
So basically would loop out there behind White Pines, right?
Exactly.
This would be pretty cool.
It would be.
You think of having that up here along with the stuff. That would add another little...
Yeah, it would. But what's interesting is that because they're talking about putting it on U.S. Forest Service property, there has to be environmental clearance. There has to be environmental clearance, I think, for everything.
Sure, for anything. Yeah.
But they are talking about approving $121,000 for the project as far as environmental clearance and work, basically restoration work. And the Sierra Nevada Logging Museum actually has $25,000 of the restoration work done with volunteers, and they just need $91,000 for the complete restoration of the Shea.
In the grand scheme of things, is not
really very much. It's only $116,000. I say that like it's not very much. Yeah, it's actually a lot of money, but especially when you're raising it with potlucks and fundraisers.
Yeah, that's a lot of bake sales.
It's a lot of bake sales. That's a lot of cupcakes. I tell you.
And also another little thing that we've had some emails on people wanting to know definitively when the pass is going to open, and we talked to Caltrans this afternoon, and we talked to Charlie Modrell, and she is the Camp Connell. One of the maintenance supervisors up there, and I says, can we quote you on this? And she said yes. And so Friday morning it will open, even if they have to pull an all-nighter Thursday night. So it will be open Friday morning. So this weekend should be the first full weekend that you can
just drive right
go
through.
to Markleyville and that type of stuff. So it's very nice. And also if you see piles of yellow bags, or orange bags alongside Highway 4, this is their Don't Trash California campaign right now. So they're doing some cleanup along Highway 4. So this is kind of a nice thing. So they're cleaning up the scenic byway. So when you head over, it should be
very scenic.
Yeah. So so that way. They did it, Caltrans crews, I'll read from her little release here. Caltrans crews across California participated in a Don't Trash California campaign Tuesday, May 8th. The Camp Connell Caltrans crew picked up trash in between Blue Lake Springs and Forest Meadows. Their efforts are shown by the huge pile, which we took a picture of bags just outside of Arnold.
Okay.
So
there was a lot of trash.
Yes, there were. And thank you, Charlie, for that. And the pass will be open.
Yeah. And actually, if you don't get out there in the next couple weeks, like one of the early birds going out there right when it opens, I would highly recommend driving it at some point.
Yeah.
Because it's a beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful pass.
And the kind of a fun thing is, from talking to some people up in Bear Valley, if you live in Bear Valley, time-wise, it's exactly the same. Let's say they could do a grocery store or a Walmart trip. It's the same to go to Tahoe as it is to Sonora. So for a lot of people in the upper reaches of the pass, it's a nice break. So that way, as soon as it's open, they can just do a Walmart or a Costco trip and stick a few dollars in some slot machines while they're over there. Yeah. Anyway.
And also, in other news, Senior Citizens of the Year Award Luncheon was today. This is an annual luncheon that they have. And it's hosted by the Commission on Aging. And what's interesting is it's like shrouded in secrecy who these award winners are until the very moment that they're announced. And this year it was the female Senior Citizen of the Award was, let's see here, Sharon Neckel of San Andreas, and she's a trustee on the Mark Twain St. Joseph's Hospital Foundation, and is also the district coordinator for the ARP Tax Aid Program. Now, the male Senior Citizen of the Award was Tony Tyrell, who lives in Altaville, and he's been in this county for years.
Thanks, Tony, because what the efforts he's had
are
for the new
above and beyond.
If you see the new ball field, if you're going past there, that is Tony's fingerprints. The new athletic complex,
the Bret Hart complex, sports complex, and Angels Camp. He basically was the one who pushed it.
Yeah, obviously there's been tons of people that have volunteered, but he's been the impetus, and to a great extent, behind making sure that it got done. And I think
found the money for it. Yep. He finds money. He's very good at that, actually. So, he's just done a phenomenal job. So I was very pleased, actually.
Well, I know what you think is a nice thing too, because he didn't win his bid to be reelected for the Bret Hart School Board. But I also think that this is, I'm sure he would have liked to have been on the board, return to the board again. But I think in a lot of ways this will be his legacy is the ball field and the new athletic complex. So I think it's again, congratulations, Tony.
A round of applause. Yes,
and even though it was only me applauding. Here, Sarah,
should we try it again?
Here we go.
Yes. Anyway, on to upcoming news, actually, on Thursday. Ebbets Pass Fire.
Yes, Ebbets Pass Fire at EPFD Station 1 is they're going to have an open house on Thursday.
Community potluck.
Yes, and we're going to top post with the video again that we did a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you had a chance to walk through it yet, but we were given the tour in its pristine condition. Before they moved in and soiled it all up, right?
Like they're supposed to do.
Yes. But we will top post that again, so that way if you want to get a look on what is actually, the tour of it, and also the cramped quarters they were coming from.
Yes, definitely. And they are definitely cramped quarters that they're coming from. Absolutely.
You think?
Yes, I do think so. I've seen dorm rooms bigger than
yes.
that.
And also, this is one that from the Stockton Record from Dana.
We like Dana.
Yes, from Dana Nichols. And I guess the 2 Calaveras County Public Works employees were pleaded not guilty today, were arraigned today. Pleaded not guilty today for stealing county government property. David Sanders and Lee Rhodes appeared in Calaveras Superior Court for Raymond, what Sheriff's Department investigators described as a series of thefts going back as far as 18 years.
That long?
Yeah.
Wow.
And like we said before, yes.
And it's kind of petty theft.
Actually. It is. And this is one of those things where, no, it shouldn't have been done. But we're glad it wasn't a bigger issue.
A bigger issue.
A bigger problem.
Exactly.
And glad for Rob Houghton. He got back in the news for getting a grant instead of...
I think Rob's doing a good job too.
Yeah.
We actually have a lot of department heads who, in my humble opinion, do actually a very good job for this county.
They do.
They do. And in national news, the Queen is still out and about.
The Queen Mum? No, not the Queen Mum.
No, the Queen.
Yes, the Queen. Yes.
She's not the mother of the Queen. She's the mother of the future king.
True.
And, we're not quite sure when
she's going to step down. And he's not actually going to go to Iraq, is he?
Oh, I meant her actual son.
Right. Oh, no, but it was
the grandson.
The yeah. Oh, yeah. Never mind. I'm skipping a generation here.
Exactly. No, he's not going to Iraq, and neither is her son.
And neither is her son.
Anyway, but she did visit the World War II Memorial today in Washington, D.C. with George Herbert, right? Bush? George H. Is it H?
It is.
And Barbara Bush.
Yeah.
Yes. See, I'm looking to you for confirmation because I'm thinking George W. all the time. George W. I'm like, wait, it's George H.
But George H. George W., not H.W.
No.
Because H.W. was Dad, right?
It's not H.W., is it?
His dad was Herbert Walker, and he's just George Walker.
Oh, Herbert Walker. Well, it's H.W. H.W.
That's
Bush.
Dad.
That's Dad. Anyway, she went with Dad.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear about the gaffe last night? I guess George almost said the last time she visited the U.S. was in 1776.
Ooh!
So,
wow.
If you look at her expression when he said that, and I'm sure she took it in stride, but I don't think any woman, whether you're a queen or not, wants to be accused of being over 200 years old. So
exactly.
That's
exactly.
So that was kind of an interesting
a little snafu.
Yeah,
snafu,
but
those
things happen.
Yeah, they happen.
They happen. A little bit of business news. Cisco's profits jumped 34% on sales increase.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they looked like they were on the downside for a while.
I know.
Yep.
And Sun is offering ultra cheap cell phones.
Sun Microsystems is actually a pretty decent company.
Yeah, and they're interesting.
With their open system and everything.
Yeah, and Sun is an interesting company because a lot of times people, they are behind a lot of the very deep, like Java, for example, very deep technology, that powers a lot of stuff. So it's
they literally make it available to anybody to improve upon. That's what I mean by open system.
Yeah. Tomorrow we'll try to get some results on the Capitol frog jump. We don't have anything on that.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Because Senator Cox, actually, it's usually the Senate District 1 representative who puts that on every year on the lawn down there at the Capitol. So, and our friend stations down in Sacramento usually do a little story on it.
Story on the real TV stations?
On the real TV
stations. Yes.
Definitely.
And I just did a search of news for Capitol frog jump, and nothing has hit the wire.
No, it'll probably be the 10 or 11 o'clock news.
Nothing yet.
They usually show someone jumping the frogs. And I'm sure Gary Mendy will be out there.
Yes.
Too.
And also, we have some pictures up on the site, if you've seen them yet, of the Habitat for Humanity home. So
which
that
we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, we talked, but there's actual pictures up there now. So
it's a very nice house.
It is.
It is.
So Mother's Day weekend coming up.
Yes.
We've got the Murphy's Hotel is having a wonderful menu planned and stuff for the Murphys for that one there.
And on Thursday we'll have all the Mother's Day happenings for you.
Right.
If you happen to be coming up.
We'll probably run down those.
And now for weather. You ready for weather?
There's got to be more. What are we missing?
It was a quiet news day in Calgary's County today.
It was, but I mean, it was
a quiet news day. But that's okay. It was a warm day outside. People were outside enjoying themselves. Angels Camp may have sidewalks all the way down Highway 49 eventually. Mountain Ranch Road is going to be
we forgot the biggest news item of the day.
Which is what?
Next Monday is the actual frog jump for the county on the county plaza.
County, yes.
And since Russ Thomas is the junior
government, we
yes, for county government is since Russ Thomas is the junior supervisor for this year, he has the honor of jumping the county's frog.
Oh,
the supervisor, the supervisorial frog.
Yes,
right? Yes. And this year his frog.
I'd like to see Tom Tryon getting down and jumping.
He did
it
last year.
Did he do it last year?
Yeah, Tryon did the jump last year.
Oh, I didn't see him do that last year.
We have video of it somewhere. Also, Russ's frog will be named Nexus.
Nexus. Okay.
So that was announced today that his frog will be named.
There's some stiff competition down there. It really is. You have people like Randy Metzger, who's the assessor, who actually jumps at the fair as well.
Right.
And he has a whole process that he goes through with his frogs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was also at the public comment section today.
Oh, really? What did he have to say?
And he was talking about Fish and Game, the fishing derby. And he had some nice pictures of it there of the fishing derby, which you'll be able to see on the Board of Supervisors video when we have that up tomorrow.
Yes. So, Arnold weather.
Arnold weather.
Tonight, clear. At 55 degrees.
Really?
Yes. And tomorrow, sunny at 72 degrees. And for those of you who are going to be planning your weekends early, Saturday, 67 degrees. Looks like it's going to get a little cooler on the weekend.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be a nice temperate weekend. Huh?
Temperate.
Yes.
Ooh, there's a 25-cent word.
Not blustery at all.
Temperate.
All right, Angels Camp / San Andreas. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. We're lumping them together. Haha. Okay,
when they picket you out at the Calaveras County Fair, I will move my chair.
A low tonight of 60, a high of 79 tomorrow, a low of 55, a high of 74 on Thursday. Thursday night 53, Friday 73. Friday night, and let's go on out to Saturday. They're projecting a high of 72. Perfect.
Ooh, an Angels Camp.
Yeah,
very nice.
I mean, perfect. Very, very
nice. And in Murphy's, clear tonight at 59 degrees. Wednesday, sunny at 80 degrees, which is kind of cool. Wednesday night, 53 degrees again. Thursday, sunny, a high of 75 degrees. And for the weekend, Saturday, 73 degrees. Which wouldn't be bad for sitting outside at the Murphy's Hotel.
Yeah, it looks like shaping up to be a really, really nice weekend.
Definitely.
A couple more little national things. Should we touch on that at all? I mean, it's something.
We talked about the Queen.
Yes, but how about the terrorists? Because they were going to actually, try to kill. I mean, this is another.
Yeah.
Basically, an Al Qaeda wannabe group that was going to, back at Fort Dix in New Jersey, and I guess lots of times we think that. Oh, I was hearing some commentary today of how blessed we are in the U.S. and the stuff we take for granted. And there's people that don't like us. And some would say that's justified, and some would say that we've earned,
earned the title. But
there are people out there every day that are.
What amazes me is how much the government prevents from happening.
That we never know
or
about.
The consortium of governments that work together. They prevent it, and we never know that it was even on the table to happen.
Yeah.
That is just, fascinates me.
And on the other thing that it's being reported, the CBS Evening News, their ratings are the lowest recorded ratings since 1987, which means they're actually lower than ours now. I think we've passed Katie Couric.
We've surpassed Katie Couric. Yeah. Hey!
Yeah. So that's
why we're smiling.
So we've passed Katie Couric. The problem is, wasn't her contract like $65 million or something like that?
It was. I think it was, but wasn't it for 3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
Which means they'll have to buy her out of that contract if they want her off the show.
So
that would be my understanding.
We need Katie money. Is that the?
We'd like $65 million to sit there and smile and read. Well, you know, she actually has a teleprompter and we don't.
That's right. And if you notice, sometimes I know we've heard from a couple people. They say, "John, look at the camera more. John, look at the camera more." Yeah. But one of the things, see, Sarah is the talking head. You know, I'm actually running. No, just kidding.
Because we're both actually going, okay.
But also we've got it where we're actually on this laptop here. We're actually doing the encoding, so I have to look down and make sure we're actually still broadcasting and not just talking to ourselves, right? Because that would really be sad if we're just standing here talking to ourselves, facing this way with nothing happening, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they want to know about all that stuff.
Well, I mean, I guess one little bit on, because we've heard from comments, they're like, John, stare at, look, talk to the camera, talk to the people.
No, you're talking to your audience.
Right.
See?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. We should probably end.
We should probably end? All right. Well,
Before we really start expecting you to talk back to us.
Yes. Thank you very much. And you have a great night. And we appreciate you stopping by. And next week, we're going to be live from Frogtown.
That's right.
So this should be a fun thing. So
that was one thing I didn't talk about. Today and yesterday, exhibits were being entered into the fair out at Frogtown, and I took a little gander at what's out there. A lot of stuff. They've had apparently a higher number of entries for amateurs and stuff this year than they've had before, but some of it is fabulous.
Interesting.
Some of the paintings, the quilts, I mean, some of the arts and craftsy things, and I'm not an arts and craftsy person, but it just is fabulous. So when you go to the fair, make sure you walk around the exhibit hall.
And when we were at Media Night last week, they said they're having 300 more animal exhibits this year than last year.
Oh,
300!
Wow. That's a lot of
animals. That's a lot more. That is a lot more. So it should be a fun. It should be a fun thing.
It should be.
We're in the spirit of the Old West. We're gonna be there with our lasso. So if you're walking by, we'll just lasso you and just kidding and drag you on camera.
That's right. You can say hi to your mom.
Say hi to your mom. Yes. And also one thing we didn't talk about last night was we were looking at where some of our viewers are coming from.
Yes.
And this was kind of a fun thing. And right now we're getting and we have a dedicated viewer in Portland, Maine.
Yes.
We're getting about 50 visits a week from Portland, Maine, and we would like to thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we provide some value to you on news for Calaveras County to Portland, Maine.
Yes.
But thank you. And we have some viewers from overseas.
We do.
And we know some of those are relatives of people in the area. So,
and some from Australia as well.
Yeah, we have no idea why they would be tuning in.
Former penal colony.
Australia?
Australia.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's why all those boys are rowdy down there.
We just lost them down.
So
that's why they are a little rowdy.
Truly was the Outback?
It was the Outback, absolutely.
And not for being a steakhouse?
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You've stretched long enough. Just kidding. But I want to say thank you. And thank you those for Calaveras County visiting us, and thank you for those in the Bay Area. And also thank you those from all points beyond, because it's been really a fun thing. We're getting some people that are clicking
watching.
on. Yeah. I mean, fun stuff. So, next, since we passed Katie Couric.
Yes. Now we're just waiting for the money.
Just kidding. So she was probably, anyway. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us.
Good night.